Hi, everyone. Oh my gosh. So yes, I'm Ilene Lieber. I'm the publicist for Orlando Story Club. And hello, so good to see you all. I am much more comfortable behind the scenes, so I'm so nervous. This is like so nerve-wracking. Barbara actually, I don't know where she is, but she inspired me with her snake story. There she is earlier. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to put my name in the hat. I've only told one other story about my dog. Do you remember that one? Yep, it's a great one. So anyway, I have not rehearsed this. So here we go. Okay, so about a year ago, I do PR for a Celebrity Impersonators Convention, giving you the backstory here. It's not going the direction you think. And I met someone there, an Australian Iron Man. He was Iron Mate. And long story short, we ended up falling in love and had a little love affair. And so I planned to go over to Australia to visit him, which was always a dream of mine to go to Australia, so it was pretty great. And you know, when you hear about Australia, many people say, like, everything there can kill you, right? Like, essentially. So I thought of that, you know, but he told me before I got there, he's like, I've never seen a wild snake, like, never, and I've lived here for, like, over 20 years, so everything's gonna be fine. I'm like, cool, great. So I get over to Australia, and he took me to the Australia Zoo, which was absolutely amazing. Have any of you been to Australia or the Australia Zoo? Oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, super amazing. You know, I pet koalas and kangaroos, and it was amazing. So we get back to our hotel room, which he got us this like really cool, it was almost like a treehouse retreat kind of place. So some of this story is about to get a little bit PG-13, okay? Or maybe a little R, anyway. So we get back to the room, and you know, we had a good time. We engaged in some oh wait, I have to back up. I left out one part of the story, sorry. See, this is not rehearsed. Welcome to Story Club. So after the kangaroos and the koalas, we then went to the snake area. And you know, it's all these poisonous snakes. Like everything in the world that's poisonous, there they all are. In cages, of course, so it's all good. Okay, so then we get back to our room and engaged in adult activities, okay? Like, yes, we're all close, so I feel comfortable sharing. Like in the bathtub, it's pretty awesome. It was like one of those really big ones. Then on the bed, like, I mean, you know, this was probably going on for about an hour or two. Yeah, it was a good time, okay? So anyway, yeah, this is important information for the story. So then, once we concluded, and, you know, he's in bed, I, like most people do, I went to go to the bathroom, you know? Oh, and by the way, you know, we're naked, okay? This is also important for the story. So I go to the bathroom, I sit down on the toilet naked, and I look down, and there is a freaking snake. Giant, long snake. And you always you think what would you do in that situation, right? Like, okay, it's not like a bee or I don't know, you know? And I would never know what I would do in that situation. I've never been in that situation before, nor did I think that would happen to me. He assured me these things don't happen. Of course, like his American girlfriend comes over and there it happens. So anyway, my initial reaction, you guys, was like, I just slowly started backing up, super slow, and I calmly but very directly was like, babe, there's an effing snake. And he's like, what, darling? What, darling? You know? And I'm like, as I'm backing up, it started to follow me. Oh, yeah. It was crazy. And so my reaction as it's following me is like, I'm just backing up, and then I got in the bathtub, you know, because it was like right there. And I'm like yelling at him, like, there's an effing snake. He's like, what? I'm like, there's a snake. And so he kind of jumps up, he sees it, and he's like, oh shit, you know? He's like, don't move. I'm like, cool, I'm naked, standing in a bathtub, like, as this, like, so the snake crawled all the way around us and then up on the window, and then it stopped. And we're both, like, naked, looking at the snake, we didn't know what to do. And we're like, okay, like, let's go tell the innkeeper, you know? Well, so I must have put on clothes because I went, it's like a blur. So I got dressed, and went down to the innkeeper and was like, there's a real snake in our room. And so she's like, oh, okay, we're gonna call a snake catcher. Because in Australia, they have 24-hour snake catchers, because that is a thing. So we're like, okay, cool. So I go back in the room, and there's like stairs right when you walk in the room up to where the bed is. And, I'm just standing on the stairs, and he's like, oh, darling, come lay in bed with me while we wait for the snake catcher. And I'm like, we can curse? This is okay? Okay, I'm like, hell the fuck no. I'm like, no. I'm like, I literally am gonna stand right here by the entrance out of here, because if that sucker comes down, like, I'm getting out of here. So, all right, Mr. Australia, you can hang out in the bed. I'm gonna hang here. So we waited for probably about an hour, and that snake just hung out on the window, giant snake. And then we were Googling, like, poisonous snakes, because we didn't know, like, what was this snake? We had just left the zoo where there were all these poisonous snakes. So we're Googling. We had no idea. Anyway, the snake catcher finally comes. Oh, and he just swoops in. Within like 2 seconds, he's like, oh, cool. Like, put in his bag, and, and that was it. And we asked him, we said, well, so what kind of snake is this? This was the whole anticipation while we were waiting for him. And he was like, oh, it's a mildly venomous snake. So we're like, cool. So it only could have partially killed us. And that's my story. Thanks, guys.